He just talked to me about the world. We actually he asked me a lot of things, and I was so surprised because when we met, what was that, 10 months later, in person, he remembered so many things that I told him about my grandmother or my father, or, you know, and so he listened a lot. And yeah, he would ask me about my work, and we were talking about the plays I was doing in theater, and we were just talking about the project actually a lot, and how we feel about it, and it never felt strange, you know. It was just very nice and normal from the beginning. I think in the beginning it was just the letters itself, because I knew about Franz Segerstetter before, but I never have read the letters before, and that's what they sent me. They sent me the letters, and I read them, and I think after the first third of reading the letters, I started to cry, and I cried throughout the whole book. And so I think for me, it was just astonishing how they were relating to each other throughout this time, and how they gave each other strength, and how strong they were, although they were just those peasants, you know, and not like intellectuals or whatever, but just like having this feeling right in their heart. And I felt that very impressive. I saw an interview with her, with Franziska, the real one, when she was 94 or something, and there was a neighbor who told the interviewer that they really seemed to be in love, that you could see when they saw them as a couple, you could see that they are in love. And that was something unusual, like farmers would not marry for love, and I think they did. Actually, he just sent me the letters, and he sent me a book that is called Höfe ohne Männer, which is a book about women in the First World War, when they were without men working on the farms. And I got a present from a friend, a book about scything, but that's nothing that Terry gave me. So actually it was just that. He told me to read the letters, and then we talked about it, and that's it. Terry trusted me so much with my work, and that I have that this is just my character, and that I also can bring along something, or that I can tell something, or we were constantly talking about what is there something else that we should do, or is this scene maybe, or maybe some more of that, and so I really felt like we are doing this together, and that's, I think, because of his trust. He really trusts the people working with him. I think he really is looking for this sort of real moment. And so that's why you as an actress always have to, you never are allowed to do things, you know, you always have to try to be in the moment. And that can be really tough, because we did also one thing where it was about grief. It was about my grief. And it felt like 1 hour. I don't know how long we shot that. And it was just constantly that grief, about that grief, and that's when he wanted me to cry, and that was really surprising, because also I realized while we were doing this, I realized that it always is about being in the moment, and it's not about inventing or doing things or trying to be more clever than your character, you know, because there's so many layers in your character in every moment. You can't just decide on one. You can just be there and then explore. And I really learned that through this way of shooting, actually. It was a lesson. In a way, we were just, dreaming about the story, you know, and because especially the first 5 or 6 weeks, we were constantly together and constantly working, because since there are no breaks of like, you know, for light change, for like, there's like, you're always standby or working. And because it's like, Terry would say, oh, Jörg, look over there, Valerie's standing there. And they're like, oh, okay. So that was pretty intense. And the funny thing is that now that we moved to Zittau and then to Berlin, it also goes with the story. Because in Zittau, I suddenly realized my children are gone, my sister's gone, my mother-in-law is gone, and he's in prison. And I felt very lonely all of a sudden, because it changed. And now he's in Berlin, it's even more different. I really liked improvising with Maria, because we sort of had like this common thing going. We were really like sisters. And there was one day we were running up the fields, and then we were pretending to smoke sticks, and you know, we're just having those sticks and pretending to smoke. And there was this like, all of a sudden it was so surprising that there's this joy, although they're having a hard time, but you still are, you know, you're together, you're alive, you're in this lovely nature. And of course you also are sisters, and you're young women that are being together and helping each other. And I found that for me, this relationship is a very important one, because it just shows this, these women that were left alone with all the work. And I think it's very beautiful that Terry chose that there should be only women on the farm. I think in general of this sort of loving collaboration of everyone, that's something that makes me really happy and proud at the same time to be part of. Because I think it's so important to let creativity flow, you know, and that you are courageous enough to open up and to let go, to not try to control too much. Because I trust him, and so I just let off any control.